Learning to sell your coaching is one of the most powerful things that you will learn to do as a coach. When we get behind closed doors and we get to coach people, there's a lot of magic that happens there. But I don't want you to deny the magic of sales because when you know how to sell and you know how to sell well in a way that feels in integrity and aligned for you, then you are unstoppable in business. Everything else you can learn after you learn to sell. But for now, let's make sure that you, as a life coach, knows how to sell your coaching so that you can help more people. I am Caryn Gillen. We're going to get you to the sales goodness here next, but I just wanted to say hi before we did and say welcome to the Coach Business Podcast. If you've got a friend who needs this info, don't forget to forward this along to them. All right, let's get to the show. My name's Caryn. I am a coach for coaches. I help coaches create businesses and grow businesses that feel like home to them. If that's something you want, we should talk. And the thing that I'm going to give you today, because I told you, I'm going to teach you the exact sales system that I use to year over year sell multiple six figures in one-on-one and small group coaching. That means I have to give you my sales script. And the thing about this script that's special is it's not really a script at all. It gives you some words. It teaches you some words you can say, but rather than being a script where you just memorize my words, it is a flow and it teaches you the bones of selling, of a good consult call. It teaches you how to own your sales so that no matter where you are, you will know I need to hit this and then I need to go there and then that needs to happen. And I got to start like this and close like that for the potential client to feel well held and for me to feel like I am nailing my sales and I'm selling like a human. Okay, so the PDF is in your email. I'm just going to go through it with you today. Again, I'm not going to try to take too long. I'll take the time it takes though to get the point across. The other thing to know is that this sales process is something that I teach in my course called Lead Your Profit. And that's something that everyone who becomes a client of mine gets access to. So if you're interested in more things like this, let me know, because that's one of the things we're doing here to be transparent is I'm doing this sales event, training you on my sales process so that later on I can make an offer and you know who I am, right? We don't buy from people we don't know at all most of the time. Sometimes we do. But when we're doing intimate work, like growing our business and sharing our business numbers and getting one-on-one coaching and being seen in a small group, generally we like to know the person. So this is you and me getting to know each other. And then after this whole event is done, I'm going to make you an offer to join me on a sales call that you'll experience something just like what I'm going to teach today. And you'll be able to decide, is now the time? And is she the coach for me? And is this the way that I want to do this work to grow my business to the next level, to evolve it, to grow it up? We'll find out. I think it's kind of fun how this whole process is so layered. Okay, so the first thing to do for any sales call is to prep, to get yourself ready, to calm down, to clear your desk, to whatever you need to do to be ready. Some people light a candle. I have this little roller. It has some essential oil in it. This wasn't the peppermint one, but I usually use a peppermint one. And all I do, no matter what, is I take my palm, I rub a little bit of the oil on it, rub my palms together, and I take 3 deep breaths. And as I'm taking those breaths, I say to myself, I am only here to love them. Because that reminds me and grounds me. I'm not here to sell anybody anything. I'm not here to like get my numbers or hit a goal. I'm like, I am here to love someone. I'm here to love them and see them and be with them in this time. That's it. So that's my like, I'm coming in and I'm grounding process. You'll have whatever yours is. You can make it as intricate or simple as you want to, but you'll want to do something that sets the tone. Like, this is not your ordinary call. This is a special, sacred call. Because if you think about the number of times an adult sits down, makes a phone call or a video call, and opens up and tells someone who maybe they don't know that well everything about what's not working and everything about their dreams about that thing, that is a big deal. So we got to be present, right? Just like we talked about in the first video. We can't be thinking about ourselves. We got to be thinking about these people. And it's an honor that somebody showed up for that call. It's a it's a courageous act, okay? So do your prep, whatever it is. And from there, we'll start the call. Starting the call is important because it's a powerful nod to like, we're here for a thing. This is a process. I will take the lead. I'm going to take the reins on this call and guide us. We don't want our prospects to show up and think that they need to do anything or be a certain way or be in charge. Like, this is a time where they get to let go, lean back. They get to be in their answers, be in their life, but it's not their job to have to like figure out what to do, right? So to start the call, we just let them know what's going to happen. And you're going to have your own way. I have mine. Like, I like to thank people for coming. I like to say, here's how this call is going to work. I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about what's not working. And I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about what is and what you want. And then if we're a great fit to work together, then I'll tell you what I've got going on over here. That's how I start, but I want them to know. And then I just say something like, and you're going to have lots of time to ask questions at the end. I like the call to feel spacious. I book 45 minutes for us to be together. So that's what shows up on their calendar. I give myself 1 hour so I have time after, and I have a little bit of a buffer if we need more time. If you're just getting started, give yourself the hour. It is much nicer for you to work with someone and end at 45 minutes and they have 15 minutes of extra time than it is for you to book a half an hour and you to keep them late. That's actually pretty disrespectful, right? Take the time. Ask them to carve the time out of their schedule that you actually need. And if you don't know what that is yet, start with an hour. But don't go over on your sales calls, because what that tells the person is like, that kind of says something about your time management. And then they feel like they're in a rush and you don't know, like maybe they need to pick the kids up or they needed to get to a work meeting. Like, you don't know what's going on over there. So make sure you give them the truth about the time it's going to take. Okay. So you started off, you take the lead, and then you spend a fair amount of time getting to know about their problem. Here's the biggest distinction I want to make about this, because we are coachers. We're coachers. We are coachers of humans. We are helpers. We are coaches. So when somebody comes at you and they're like, here's all the ways my life isn't working, you're going to be like, yay, someone I can coach. You need to hold back with all of your might and do not coach them. Do not coach them. Please don't coach them. Here's why. Well, first of all, this is probably what's going to take you the most energy out of anything that's happening on the call. It's going to be to hold your own self back from coaching someone on things you know you can help with. Because if you're having a consultation with someone who wants to do the work you do, they're like prime and ready. And you're like, this is the sweet spot. I got this. I can just help them out real quick. Do not do it. Do not do that. Do you know why? Think about a few reasons why. I'll give you a second. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer. The reason that we don't coach on a sales call is, and I have seen this literally hundreds of times. I have supported so many people with sales. When you coach on a consultation call, you perfectly take away that top layer of pain, that top layer of dissatisfaction that was actually that thing that like got them over the hump to even show up on the call. You take it right away from them and they feel a little bit better and they're like, wow, okay, I can do this. And then you know what they say at the end of the call? Thank you so much for your help. I think I'm okay. I'm going to do this on my own. And you feel frustrated and they walk away with this little band-aid of help that maybe was everything, but if they're showing up for a consultation call for life coaching, chances are they needed more than what you could do in the 5 to 12 minutes where you coached them on their consultation call. So even though it feels good for you and it gives you dopamine and you get to feel like, oh, I'm an expert at something, because when you're learning how to do sales, you don't feel like the expert at sales. You wish you could be coaching because coaching is what you're good at. Don't do it. Do not take the bait. Let them tell you their story without coaching them. Use curiosity to get more information, not to coach them. Do you think I said that enough times? Do you get it? Can I get a commitment from you that you will not coach on a consultation call? Okay, moving on. So that's the problem. And this for you, you're going to just get a feel for how long that takes. You need for it to take more than 10 minutes. If you were racing through the questioning and the curiosity about this, you're missing, like they're not going to be able to emotionally keep up with you. You need to make sure you're asking questions in a lot of different ways, getting to know the problem from back to front and left to right and top to bottom. Like you want to know about it. And here's where it gets hard if you've done this a lot. If you know your ideal client so well, like you've lived it, you know all about it, you'll get kind of impatient and you'll kind of gloss over like, yeah, this was me at one niche I had. I was like, yeah, like I get it. Like this and this and this happens. And then you feel like that, blah, blah, blah. It's, for one, it's disrespectful of their time and showing up on the call, right? Like they need to tell their story. But two, like as much energy as you're spending not coaching them about their problem, you spend probably an equal amount of energy continuing to get really clear on their problem, even when you already get it, because they need to be as clear on it as you are. You could have done 1,000 hours of this already, but they might have never been this clear in their life. So give them that time. Give them that time to get so clear. And you have to be really patient to do that. Okay, next up is the solution. And a lot of the same things apply with the solution as the problem. You're getting really clear about what would that goal being achieved look like in their life. And you don't just want to be like, oh, lose 20 pounds, great. Or, oh, get divorced, great. Or, oh, yeah, great, I get it. You want to become a teacher, you want to change your job, you want a new career, whatever. Don't assume that you understand what they're saying. Assume that you don't. Because the motivations for why people want to do things, that's what we need to know. So you have to ask, and I give you lots of questions in here. Like, if this thing comes true, how does that impact your relationship with your partner? If that thing comes true, what does that look like with your kids? If that's true, like, how does that change your work environment? All the questions. You want to be convinced that you're convinced that they want this thing bad enough to do the hard work it takes to commit to making the change and continuing to having this change and continuing to commit to this thing. It's not just like, can I say yes today? It's, can I say yes to myself for the whole 3 months I work with you or the whole 6 months I work with you? So you need someone who's pretty committed, right? You need to really understand, like, they have like some pretty good reasons for wanting to do this. This is really the right time. I can see why this person's perfect for this. If you have doubts, you ask more questions. If you're like, I think they're a pretty good fit, but I don't know about, you ask that question. So no, like, make sure you're checking in with your body. Like, feels like I don't quite believe them that they want that. Ask more questions. Take all the information you can in, and do not make an offer until you are sold that they're the person who wants this thing, that needs this thing, and that's like ready for this thing right now and will stay committed to this thing. Because ultimately you want the people who work with you to be successful, right? You don't just want to be successful at selling the thing right now. Anyone can sell something right now. But can they actually get the person to show up for themselves and make the appointment and make the first payment and make the second payment and make the third payment and make the fourth and the fifth and the sixth? That's committed, right? Those people have to be right. I'm uninterested in you making a sale. I'm interested in you getting people to program completion. And that's what selling like a human does. If you can sell people in this way, that means people are in and they are here to do the work. And you're not having the experience of someone saying yes and then ghosting you, or someone saying yes and paying you and then wanting a refund because it's not the right time. You want the right people in to do the powerful and good work right now. So at this point, you know they're the right person, right? You know so much about their problem and about why it's a problem for them, right? We can't assume that just because it's our niche, it's a problem for everybody. It's not. Some people don't care about the thing that bothers us. You know why this particular thing bothers this particular person. And then you know everything about what they want and why they want that and what will change about their life and what will expand in them because they made that shift with you. Then, and only then, and you haven't coached on the call, you just stayed curious, then you get to make the offer. And you get to say, like, hey, I can help you. You know, would you like to work together to solve for that? So you make the offer. And a really good sign on a consultation call is when someone says something like, do you have Tuesdays at 10 a.m. available? Because if someone is thinking through your offer to the point where they're trying to fit you into their lives, that's a key for you to know, like, oh, they're in, right? If they're kind of like out there and like, yeah, like I could see that could be cool, like you can tell they're not sold yet. So you might want to get a little bit more clear about what they want out of the process. You can ask them like what questions they have for you. That'll tell you more about if they're really clear and ready to buy. And I just want to normalize that, like, you're not going to sell every time someone shows up on the phone, nor should you. It would be weird. In fact, in the last, I don't know, number of months, I've had 100% close rate. And it actually tells me that I'm doing something wrong. What it tells me is that I'm not actually out there making enough offers, because the only people that are showing up on the call with me are people who know who I am and they know they want to work with me. So I need to be out there enough that every once in a while, somebody is getting on the phone with me who's not a great fit or who's like, no, you're not the right energy for me. That's supposed to happen. That means you're getting out there enough, right? So that's okay. You might be like, they're a no. That's all right. So when I know someone's a no, I like to give them other options. Like, hey, it seems like maybe now's not the right time for you, or you're just not really sure exactly what you want to do here. But what I think is that this book would be great for you. Or have you ever heard of this podcast? I'd love to introduce, I'll send an email with a link to the podcast. Or this will even happen sometimes really early on in a sales call. I'll be asking questions and I'll just have this like other coach in my mind. It'll be like, bing, 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 like send them to Carol or like whoever the coach is. And I'll say, this is how I stop those calls so I don't waste their time or mine. I say, look, I appreciate everything that you've shared. And I have to tell you that I just have this intuition that there's this other coach who is going to be perfect for you. So like, I'm very happy for you to go and meet with them and tell me I'm wrong and come back and we'll finish this call together. But I think I need to send you to so-and-so. And here's why. And I'll tell them the reasons. And every time I've done that, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's amazing, right? It's a good thing. It's like, I mean, it's one of the greatest gifts we can do is to refer, right? To refer to our friends who do beautiful work. So yeah, there's kind of all the fancy no's. And the other thing is the people who say yes, they're ready to go. So what do you do when someone says yes? I like to tell them exactly what's going to happen. Give them the lowdown so they know what to expect, because when people know what's happening, they feel safe. When people feel safe, they don't bolt, right? Like if you have a very weird process from consultation to starting the work, you're going to have more people who just run away because it's uncomfortable. So make sure you have a nice flow. and tell people what to do. I'll say, all right, so from here, I want to talk through whether you're going to do the payment plan or the pay in full option. And here's what you get right away. After this call, I'll let my assistant know that you're in for the work. She'll send you an agreement. That'll probably come in tomorrow because she doesn't work at night or whatever. You're going to fill that out. And then once you fill that out and send it in, we'll send back your invoice and your agreement. And from there, you'll get information about how to connect with me on Voxer. And we're going to set up our call time. So, and usually if I have a consultation, and this is something I recommend for you, know what times you have available to see clients before you get on a consultation call. So if you only have Tuesdays at 10, Wednesdays at 2 and 4, and Fridays at 9:30 in the morning, at the end, you can say which one of these call times is great for you. Get really specific. Know what's going to happen. Plan for it to work out, right? Know where your people are going to go. It's just creating a nice customer experience for them. In all the things we're doing in business, when we're thinking about the customer journey, we want it to have that experience of like, you come into my world, I take you by the hand, and like we walk through the rest of the process together. I want it to be thoughtful. I want it to be intentional. I want them to know that they're well held, that I've considered everything that's happening for them. And you can do that too, no matter what size your business is. Just think, how do I want my clients to be welcomed in? And then create that flow, tell them how it's going to work, and do what you said you'd do. For the love of all things holy, everybody, do what you say you're going to do. You want to create return customers, do what you said you would do. Show up for what you said you would do. Okay, I can't say that enough because it's one of the complaints that I actually hear in our field of coaching is that people overpromise and underdeliver. I don't think you need to overpromise and overdeliver or underpromise and overdeliver. I think you need to be clear and deliver on what was clear. You want to throw in some extra stuff? Great. But at the bare minimum, do what you said you'd do. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is it feels like it was a yes, but they haven't taken action yet. This is where there are 3 reasons that people like really aren't a hell yes or a hell no on the phone. 1 is that they don't believe in the coaching. 2 is that they don't believe you can help them. And 3 is they don't believe they can do it. So just consider for yourself as you review your own consult process, which area do you need to spend more time helping them get to that belief that like, this is something that's possible. This is something that's possible for me. And coaching is the thing that can help me get there. And if you can't help them get there, that's okay. Maybe they need to do something differently. But you want to be aware of that, okay? Last pep talk is you're in charge. These calls are yours. You own them. You run them. You lead them. It is your job to take the lead, get people through the process, be agile, adapt where you need to, be a human, be in it with them, for them, use your discernment for them. And at the end, tell them what's going to happen really clearly. So notice when all that's true, what's not on the call. There's no time for you to be second guessing yourself. There's not time for you to be really nervous, right? Like you need to be connected to them. There's no getting around that. Sales is connection. That's why you're going to be epic at this. Coaches are amazing at connection. You have this super skill in your back pocket. Think about like car salesmen. The best car salesmen are connectors, and coaches are just connection machines. This is my belief anyway. So all of the skills and capabilities and like energetics that you need to be great at sales, you already have because you're a coach. All you're needing to do in this moment is figure out like, okay, this is a process. People need to hit certain points on a sales journey. They need to feel into their problem. They need to feel into that, like that elation of the solution. And then they need to feel the intensity and the discomfort of saying yes or no to an offer that someone makes them, that you make them. Let them feel it. That's all this is, one big feely call for everybody. So you make your offer and then you wait and you let them decide. Okay. So you've got the PDF, you've got all the info. That's everything that I would ever want to put in a sales call and nothing more. And you have everything you need to lead an incredible sales call. Don't doubt, my friend. Do not doubt. If you can coach, you can sell. There is nothing that I love more than sales. That's not true. There are some things, but I think sales are really fun. And I hope that you had that same experience today of feeling like, oh, this is something I can do. This is something I can figure out. This is something that I can do so that I can help more people. Thank you for being here to be a part of How to Sell Like a Human. I appreciate you. I just want to remind you to go ahead and subscribe to the show so that you get the next episode. We are always talking about coaching and business and coaching business here on the Coach Business Podcast, and I'd love for you to stick around. If you've got a friend who could really use this episode, go ahead and forward it to them. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.